Sign up to the SBR Network and use your free daily bet points to earn real-world prizes. Click on the page and start winning now. Hi, welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is our second episode of the Oddly Enough show. Today is early May. The first show, I think, went pretty well. It was reasonably well received. And now we're going to talk about the topic of today is the Mariano Rivera slam of Robinson Cano in his new book. And our guest for the show is, of course, as always, Swingin' Johnson. Swingin' Johnson, thanks for being back with us.
I got a fever, baby, and the only cure is a little bit of Loshak. Peter, it is always a pleasure to speak to you, my friend.
All right, well, my pleasure as well. I'm kind of liking doing these shows. The topic for today is going to be the Mariano Rivera slam of Robinson Cano. Pretty interesting, you know, a player that sort of has bad character, that's selfish, is always something you want to be aware of when it comes to betting on that player or that guy's teams. But before we do that, you want to give some shout-outs to guys at SBR. Is that what you asked me about?
Absolutely, Loshak. I started a thread in Players Talk where I posted a link to last week's video that we did, and I got some heavy-duty posters chiming in that I would like to recognize.
Okay.
And first and foremost, I want to give a shout-out to the enigmatic and always controversial Seaweed, a veritable chameleon here at SBR. Also heard from Bite Me DOJ, who sprinkles SBR points like fairy dust, or should I say fairy dust. The ever-popular Jay Vegas and his nemesis, Loshak, Vegas 39. Those two are like vinegar and water on a summer's eve, if you catch my drift, and I think you do, ladies. Okay, summer's eve, vinegar and water. Also, my boy, Big Day, who can't wait for tomorrow because he gets better looking every single day. And even JJ Gold, the man, the myth, the legend, and of course, incestuous nephew of his mother's sister, kind enough to share his thoughts. And finally, Loshak, as a special shout-out, a guest you're having in your studio tomorrow. I want to welcome John Crazy Legs Ryan back to the SBR stable, and this super freak is doing his thing, cashing 6 of his last 7 selections, and I am officially done tossing verbal bouquets this afternoon, Loshak, so take it away.
All right, that was amazing, Swingin' Johnson. You're done. You sure you're done? Nothing more?
I'm
you got?
done, baby.
Okay, all right. All right, that was amazing, Swingin' Johnson. Now let's get down to the topic of today's show. Mariano Rivera, of course, slammed the hell out of Robinson Cano, saying he has bad character, he's not a team player, all that crap, which is actually something to be aware of, to keep an eye out for. In baseball, it's a little bit different, though. I'll tell you some of my thoughts on this. First, let's read a quote from what exactly Mariano Rivera said. Here's a quote from his book. He says, "This guy has so much talent, I don't know where to start. There's no doubt that he's a Hall of Fame caliber player. It's just a question of whether he finds the drive you need to get there. I don't think Robbie burns to be the best. You don't see that red-hot passion in him that you see in most elite players." That reminds me of me a little bit. I have so much talent that most people don't even know where to start. You know what? Like, if you had to describe my talent, where would you start, Swingin' Johnson? You don't know.
Speechless.
You
I
have
mean,
no idea.
you know what I'm saying? It's like the internet. There is no beginning and no end.
My first thought is that in baseball, it's not really a team sport. It's an individual sport, right? And in other sports like basketball and football and hockey, you do see that sometimes where a player can have very impressive stats, but actually is bad for the team. But in baseball, your individual stats are 99%. You are responsible for your individual stats 99%. So, if you're not a team player, if you are a team player, we can still get a very accurate snapshot of who you are just based on your individual stats, right?
Amen, amen. You are speaking to the choir, my friend. This whole controversy kind of caught me off guard. And I have to confess, I have mixed emotions. Kind of like the time when my mother-in-law drove off the Mystic River Bridge in my brand new Cadillac. Good thing, bad thing, not quite sure. But, if you look at what Robinson Cano has done, and as you pointed out, very much an individual sport. Wade Boggs for the Red Sox back in the late 80s, 90s was certainly not the most welcome presence in the clubhouse. But I'll tell you what, man, on the field, he posted the numbers. I don't really see that Cano's gotten that. I haven't heard in the background that he's a bad team guy. He just did that ad out where I forget for who, but they posted a life-size cutout of Robinson Cano in New York City, and the guys were stopping by yelling at it, fans, and all of a sudden he pops out from behind, and it's kind of a gotcha moment. And I don't know, it just seemed fine to me. If you look at what he's done on the field, I mean, for Christ's sakes, he's played at least 159 games over the last 7 seasons, 5 Silver Slugger awards, 2 Gold Gloves, one of the premier second basemen in the league and maybe ever. For Rivera to say that he lacks desire or drive, I don't know, Milosh. It makes about as much sense as Kate Upton dressed in a spacesuit. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, he might actually be lazy, but the results that he gets are the results. A little bit like you, right? You pronounce it Cano, it's Cano. You're just being a little bit lazy, but we get results with you. We know what we're going to get, right?
Absolutely, terrific parallel. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to make sure that you were paying attention, my friend.
Right. Swinging Johnson, you don't have a lot of talent, and I definitely do know where to start if I had to begin talking about it. But I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. You have a ton of talent. We all have a ton of talent. You have plenty of talent, Swinging Johnson. All right. Yeah. No. And I think that, and the other issue, which is another thing that is actually applicable in all areas of life, actually, is that people slam him because he doesn't give 100% effort when it doesn't matter, as opposed to someone like Derek Jeter who runs out every ground ball even when he's out by a mile or something like that. And there is something to be said for conserving energy, especially if you're a world-class athlete playing a long, grueling season at that top level. Actually, there might be something to be said for not giving 100% when it doesn't matter, conserving your energy, and giving 100% when it matters the most. And if that's what Robinson Cano is doing, actually, that means he's very smart. He's actually being smarter than all the guys like Derek Jeter, right?
Well, that's absolutely right, and the same can be said for Randy Moss. I mean, if you remember Randy Moss, they said, well, when the play wasn't going to him, designed around him, he didn't really run, didn't do this, didn't do that. But Randy Moss in his prime, man. I mean, you take him all day long, and he suited up each and every game. Look at Cano. I mean, he is playing basically every single game over the last 7 years. So I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's not running out every ball or if he is. But you know what? Whatever he's doing, I'm on board with it because this is the kind of guy that you'd like in your home team's uniform. No question about that.
All right, Swinging Johnson. Great second show. Thanks so much, and we will talk to you again next week.